Friends, good morning. It's great to be with you this morning. This reading, I felt frustrated with the scriptures we have this morning because I so love this first reading from the book of Daniel. I especially love the dance move that's described, the king's hip rocking, knees knocking, that whole thing. Something that I had been meditating on for a little bit was just that mene tekel perez. And that whole notion of the tekel, right? You have been found wanting. This is the bonus homily right here. Okay, so the thought was this, that at a certain point, the Lord will call each of us to himself, and we will give an accounting for our lives, what we did and what we failed to do, what we became with the grace given to us. And at that moment, there's no excuses, there's no running, there's no hiding, there's no, well, I intended to, or I always meant to. The envelope is sealed. At a certain point, all the good intentions come to naught. The church wants us to meditate on that finality. And please God, may we never hear tekel pronounced over our lives. Okay, what I do want to talk about though is this gospel, this intense gospel. And there's something of I think I've realized recently I don't really know what irony is, but there's something that feels like irony in this gospel on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, where we're being told you'll be hated by relatives and brothers and family and handed over and persecuted and all those things, right? Everyone's getting ready for all the family to come over tomorrow. It's like, whew, that feels like a real gospel in my life. Okay, so I kind of want to offer this as a sort of kind of examination of conscience a little bit, and also a little fervorino, inspiration word to kind of move us into a new direction. Okay, so the Lord is saying, they will seize you and persecute you. They will hand you over to the synagogues and to prisons, and they will have you led before kings and governors because of my name. Because of my name. It's the association with his name. This is really important this is the examination piece. Is your name associated with his name? When people think of you, do they think of him? Is it a package deal? This is a really important question. I knew someone, this is gonna sound bizarre, but it's true. I knew someone I worked with in ministry years and years ago who allegedly, I say allegedly because it was never proven to me in any way, who allegedly was married. I didn't ever meet her husband. We'll call her Julie. I never met Julie's husband. She wore a wedding ring. People supposedly knew that she had a husband, but she never talked about him. He never came around. So it was a bizarre thing that I would never think of her husband when I thought of her. I never thought of her as a couple. Here's what I'm driving at with that. In healthy marriages, when you think of one, you think of the other, right? When I think about people that I know who are married, I think of Bob, I automatically think of Ellie. I think of Jim, I automatically think of Pam. I think of Pete, I automatically think of Jim, or Jean. That's how it goes. You associate one person with their spouse. That's part of why the death of a spouse is so tragic. It's a part of this person is gone, right? Why am I sharing all this? Because you and I, because of our baptism, we are espoused to Christ. We're espoused to Christ. That's what happened at your baptism. There's a philosopher, Martin Buber, who talks about the I-thou relationship that gets established in baptism. An I-thou, that you're no longer a lone I walking around the world, but you are a we. There's an I-thou dynamic. I am a we. I am a person whose life is united to, implicated by, caught up in the life of another person. And that spousal relationship that began in the waters of baptism, it's furthered through the life of the sacraments, through the life of prayer, the spiritual life, all of those things as Jesus conforms us more and more to his heart. And I guess the examination is this, when I think about myself, not just because I'm a priest, but Like, I want to be living my life in such a way that people automatically think of Jesus when they think of me. I think that's what every disciple should be hungering for, that I want my life to be a living reflection, a living declaration of him. Like, imagine this. Imagine someone who knows you, right? And someone says to them, "Oh yeah, I saw Jeannie walking out of Mass at St. Bart's this morning." Imagine that person who knows you says to them, "Oh really? I had no idea they were Catholic." Like, that would be kind of devastating. To live your life in such an anonymously Christian way that no one ever really knows. I think that's a huge problem in our church, that there's a lot of people who attend Mass who, as soon as they walk out those doors, like, the bushel basket goes on the candle and they kind of go about their lives as these anonymous Christians, these anonymous disciples. It's like if at every Mass the Lord gives his son to you, like you got this baby in a baby carrier handed to you at communion, you're supposed to go home with the baby. It's like everybody leaves the baby at the door when they go home. Like, people are supposed to experience the crying baby that is Jesus in your life. Like, in the end, Jesus, he tells us it will be simply our identification with him, with his name, that will lead to our being rejected. You will be hated by all because of my name. And I think on an unconscious level, we know that. We know that to be a Jesus person is to invite criticism, rejection, resentment, hostility, misunderstanding. And I think because of that, we often, again, inadvertently, we downplay our discipleship. I remember at my first assignment, I was out to dinner with a buddy of mine, and there was a family, parishioners, who were seated kind of near us. And the priest, we prayed when our food came, and then I just kind of happened to watch. And like, I know, because I've been to their house for dinner, that they prayed before they ate in their house, but here out at this restaurant, they didn't pray. And like, I saw the mom, her eye, she kind of caught my eye, and it was this moment of like, oh, we should have done that, right? Like, there's a downplaying. But what does he say? Jesus, by your perseverance, you will secure your lives. Perseverance in what? Persevering in saying his name, being willing to be someone associated with him. Like, when you find yourself in a moment, especially as family comes over for Thanksgiving, because God knows how that goes. When you find yourself in a moment where you feel tempted to minimize this love that's so important to you, this Jesus, this faith, when you feel tempted to minimize, to hide, I really want to encourage you to pause for a moment and say a quick prayer to St. Peter, to ask for his intercession, his help, because he knows what it's like to deny him. He knows what it's like to crumble. Like that scene of Peter's denials in the high priest's courtyard, they're so striking. It was a few years ago that I realized, like, I don't know why in my imagination I always assumed it was like a band of like burly men or guards who are like, aren't you one of those guys, disciples? That's not who asks the question. You know who asks the question of him? It's a little milkmaid, like a little servant girl. And he crumbled. He knows what it's like to crumble. He knows what it's like to be afraid, to be associated with his name. And we might crumble too. You might have this homily in your head tomorrow and just completely fold. And you know what? The Lord loves you. He loves you. He's not going to be angry or disappointed. Thank God for his mercy. But let's pray for the grace to persevere, to be willing to be associated with his name. Amen.